Yo, I can't do this shit.
Well, everyone knows that to lose weight, it helps to sweat, whether on the treadmill or on the yoga mat. Except now, some fitness buffs are saying the exact opposite, claiming the body burns even more calories when it's exposed to extreme cold. But is shivering to stay warm really a good way to lose weight? Here's Andrea Canning with our report.
3 times a week, Tim Ferriss fills his bath with ice and climbs in.
I like it short and sweet, like a Band-Aid getting ripped off.
He says the extreme cold keeps his body superhuman and super thin.
I'll start with the water up to my mid-abdomen for the first 10 minutes. I'll use a kitchen timer, and then the last 4 to 5 minutes, I'll lay back, keeping my head and my hands out of the water.
Call it the thermal diet. Ferriss, the author of The 4-Hour Body, swears by it to keep off unwanted fat.
Bring a book with you, get a little bit of reading done, and lose some extra fat.
So how can you lose weight just by being cold?
The body wants to maintain a balance, a homeostasis. So 98.6 degrees, and if you make it cold, it will do everything it can to get back to 98.6, and it has to burn calories to do that. Heat equals calories.
What is going on in your body at that time?
There's actually a type of fat called brown adipose tissue, BAT. Cold can trigger this BAT. It actually produces heat, and you burn fat tissue.
Ferriss is not alone in his quest for cold. A friend of his who's an astronaut introduced him to Ray Cronise, a former NASA scientist who says it changed his life too.
We can use the thermal environment to supercharge our weight loss.
Struggling with his weight, Ray took a scientific approach.
When I realized that running a marathon only burned 2,600 calories, or 3/4 of a pound of fat, I was pretty disenchanted at that point.
Until he heard something that sounded impossible. Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps' diet of 12,000 calories a day, the same amount Ray consumed in a whole week.
If most people hear that Michael Phelps eats that much food, they think he's an Olympic athlete. Of course he eats that much food, but it's way out of proportion. And then it occurred to me, Michael Phelps spends most of the time in the water, and water is 24 times more thermally conductive than air. What that means is that that water is actually sucking that energy, sucking that heat out of his body. His body was burning excess calories just to maintain his body temperature.
He dug deeper and found that for years, NASA has been investigating the effects of temperature on astronauts.
When aerospace was taking off and we were looking at pilots that were in high altitude aircraft and exposed to more thermal environments, as mild as 60 degrees, some of these people saw metabolism rates boost by as much as 20%.
So Cronise added space science, swimming in cool water and taking shiver walks to his diet and exercise routine, and he tripled his rate of weight loss, going from this to this, losing 30 pounds in just 6 weeks.
I spent the biggest part of my career trying to become weightless, and it turns out that one of the biggest things that I think that I can help out is actually helping people with weight loss.
But can it really work? We spoke with doctors who said that while the physics may be right, diet and exercise are a lot less miserable, and everyone agreed that people with cardiovascular issues and health problems should avoid shocking the body like this.
Why haven't we heard about this method before? This seems like a magic cure.
Quite honestly, it's because most nutritionists and most trainers get calories in, calories out wrong. They don't understand thermodynamics.
Can you just go stand in the cold and get slim? Or is it a quick fix, or do you still need to exercise?
You want to make the other lifestyle changes, but the cold can really multiply the effects.
If you're wondering how people in cold climates could be heavy, he has an answer for that too.
They keep themselves warm. So most people, if they live in a cold climate, don't go out of their way to expose themselves to the cold.
I do want to take the shivering walk.
Well, I'm ready.
I really don't, actually, but I would like to try it. Oh, that's cold.
It's very, very brisk.
Ferris cautions to begin with short walks and says always keep a coat nearby.
The thermometer showing that we are below freezing now, and we can certainly feel it. What does that mean for us? How many extra calories are we burning because of this cold weather?
We're burning at least 50% more calories.
But even advocates admit ice baths and shiver walks aren't for everyone,
Doing it in the name of weight loss. I'm gonna get sick.
suggesting instead that you start off with small changes.
Leaving the sweater at home or putting the thermostat down a few degrees. All of those little incremental changes add up to enormous boosts in your weight loss over time.
All options a lot less painful than this.
My toes are turning red. I think I'm getting frostbite.
For Nightline, I'm Andrea Canning in New York.